Welcome to Council Action. I'm Russell Inman, and joining us tonight from Ward 3 is Councilman Joe Eagan. Joe, it's a pleasure to have you here tonight. We've entered into spring. The council chambers is warmer than usual, and we had a pretty good agenda tonight. All things are going good in the city of Florissant.
We did have a warm meeting this evening in the chambers. We had a very productive meeting. It's been a while since I've been on Council Action, and it's certainly good to be back and communicating with the residents.
Good to have you. And as we'll see in the meeting, you mentioned it was a strong meeting, and we really had a lot of things go through. Even a number went through in 3 readings tonight, which is unusual.
Yeah, that's true. And the ones that went through were requests that, for one reason or another, had a bit of exigent circumstances to it. If you, on a couple of these, Mr. Jones pointed out that these people are already paying rent in these businesses, and by delaying them 2 more weeks is much time when they could be getting their business off the ground and running, which is why. And we don't do it for every request that comes around, but there are some that do stand out. We'll do 3 readings.
Good, good. Well, we started off every meeting with a hearing from citizens. This was a good time tonight. We had a lady and another gentleman kind of come and speak on her behalf to the ordinance that the city of Florissant has against pit bulls.
Right. That ordinance was enacted several years back before I was on the council. I'll be real candid. I have not done the research. I have not done the look into it all that much. I know that the council deliberated that at great length several years back, and there are certainly pros and cons for the pit bull ban. And what really makes things a little more murkier, and why I would be interested in at least listening to what has to be said, is like this lady explained this evening, that they really don't know what this particular animal is. It a pit bull, or if it's a hound, or if it's a mix. But I would suggest that probably in the near future, perhaps at a work session, or as we proceed through this next legislative term, that we'll be addressing that, at least listening to ideas on that.
Yeah, it sounded like it was just a pup that she had found abandoned and kind of brought into her home. So she doesn't know what it is, and she'd have to get DNA testing really to prove it one way or the other.
And I don't think the council wants, at least I won't speak for the council, I don't want people to have to go through and get testing on every single animal. I was very interested to hear that some of the communities around us have an appeal process. Yeah. And that's something that would be, at least on the outside, be interesting for us to explore in the future.
Well, she made, it was either she or the gentleman that followed, made a good point about, punishing the owner, and if the owner is a responsible one, giving them that chance to make an appeal.
And that's true. And I know, playing the devil's advocate, when this was passed, I know that what was brought up quite a bit was the injuries, especially to small children. Mm-hmm. And regardless if you punish an owner and a child still has a lot of injuries from a dog attack, those injuries are forever. So I think this is a topic that we're going to have to approach again in 2015 and 2016 as we move down the road with the next council. Okay. No communications tonight. Yes. And that brought us to the public hearings. There was 2 of them. The first one was for Florissant Animal Hospital. So keep going with the dog theme, the animal theme. But theirs is just for a new sign. Spot, it sounded like it was going to stay about the same, maybe move back a little bit from the road and turn into a single pole. That business has been operating in our community since, I believe, 1967. And that sign has been there that long. That sign is, it's due for an update. If you looked at the new sign, the graphics going to pop out at you. I think it's one of those older signs that you drive by and not even would say, I take my dog up there. Right. And so I know where it is, but if you don't know where that is, that sign's not going to attract your attention. Hopefully the new one will not only be a little more colorful, a little more inviting, but it will be more visible for the people going down the street.
When I was first reading about this public hearing coming in about this pole sign, I had to mentally try to think about was there a sign even there yet?
Yes.
Because you're right, you drive right by it, you don't see a sign.
It's rather drab. And I went by and looked at it again today, and I thought, wow, I could see why it's time. I'm surprised they haven't approached this in the past.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, the next public hearing, this was for MAG Automotive LLC to do business as MAG Automotive. They want to operate an automotive repair shop in a place that used to be a repair shop, but I guess this special ordinance this didn't pass through because a restaurant for a quick bit was going to go in there. Is that understanding that correctly?
Right, and I just recently found out that Lulu's Chinese apparently is a rage in St. Louis, and they approached us several months ago and wanted to, I believe they purchased the building. After they got in the building, I guess they found out that converting a auto shop to a restaurant was going to be far more difficult than they had imagined. So it's my understanding that Lulu still wants to come in,
Okay.
but they're either going to operate another part of that building or another building in the area.
Okay.
This was operated at Tosto's Automotive for as long as I can remember. The bays are set up for an automotive repair shop. The area is set up. There's some apartments kind of in the back of that, but the hours of operation, the type of work they do, I don't see it as being a hindrance in the neighborhood.
Well, for this guy, it's move-in ready.
It's move-in ready. What's really even better about this is he's already operating a similar business just down the street. And he's such a businessman that his business is growing so exponentially that he needs more room. And instead of taking out of the Florissant area, he has sought a business down the street. So
That's great.
Hopefully he can get up and running here in the very near future.
We had a second reading tonight for the mayor of the city of Florissant to enter into contract with the St. Louis County Municipal Ordinance. You want to talk about what's going on here?
I sure do. The St. Louis County has developed a mental health court, and the way that benefits municipalities is oftentimes our police officers are sent to the same location time and time again for the same problems. And a good one might be a homeless person, a person who is continuing and coming to an area where they're trespassing and they're causing problems. And what this does is it gives us the opportunity, our police officers, to refer them to services that can benefit them.
Okay.
Another good example is if you have someone who's having some issues and they're continually acting out, not only does that cause problems for their family, but the neighborhood. And when you take them to a normal court and you find them that has no bearing on them, what you're trying to do is fix the problem and not fix the symptoms. So, for instance, if you have a person who continuously causes disturbances, the symptoms of disturbance, the problem is why they're causing it. This gives the police department and the courts the opportunity to refer those folks to people who can help them, get help for their issues that are causing the problems.
Very good. Yeah, these are people that, slapping them with a fine or giving them a ticket of some nature, it's not mentally conceptual to them to help them understand and fix it.
In many cases, and it just keeps becoming.
And the county's already had that in place
yes,
for
and it's
some
very
time?
very successful program.
Hey, we had 3 requests that came through. One for a new business going in with the Old Timers Carryout Restaurant, another barbecue joint. Again, Florissant's kind of becoming the barbecue Kappa of St. Louis County here.
It is.
That one was approved tonight to go through. And we had a request for a transfer special use permit for Gateway Grilled Subs. Sounded like that was going into an old Subway shop.
Right, that's up off of Shackleford Road. What's interesting about the barbecue place is we amended the ordinance tonight and we passed it to prohibit outdoor cooking.
Okay.
One of the big issues we have with the barbecue phenomenon, barbecue is the hottest cuisine in the world right now. If you look on all the Food Network shows and you read the Cuisine magazine, barbecue is big around the world. So that's why people are jumping on the barbecue trend. The problem comes when you try to do outdoor cooking. You have all sorts of issues with smoke and noise. They're able now to go indoors with electronic smokers and get the same thing accomplished. This gentleman tonight has agreed to do his cooking indoors. That's a stipulation that Mr. Schmidt made with the ordinance. And so it may be at a later point in time he might approach us, like 2 other barbecue places, Red's and Fat Boys, where he creates an outdoor cooking system that falls in line with regulations by St. Louis County Health Department and by our own regulations, and is friendly to the neighborhood. It has to do with venting the smoke in a proper way and trying to enclose it to where the noise is kept down.
And he mentioned tonight he's having something custom built already.
Yes, and he's well aware of the ordinances from both our city and from the county health department. So hopefully when he comes and he's ready to install that, it passes muster.
Good, good. Well, the Subway shop isn't going to have to deal with that.
No, it's ready to go. Nicole is a very nice lady. We were able to meet her this evening. She's already operating another similar restaurant, and that's very important. Restaurants are one of the businesses that open up all the time, but they also shut all the time. And so I know the council feels better when a person who's coming in has had prior restaurant experience. That's a really good location over there on Shackleford. That's just outside of Ward number 3. That's in Ward number 2. A lot of traffic go by there, and the Schnook stores and that. So we wish her really good luck.
Then there was this next request. It was continued, I believe. It was a request for a beer and wine package liquor license for United Mart Inc. That's on Patterson Road.
Yes, I spoke with Mr. Caputa, that's his word, right before the meeting. He had not had the opportunity to fully discuss this proposal with the petitioner. He had some concern and has some concerns with the amount of similar operations in that vicinity right there. And he wants to take a harder look at it and make sure that before this gets passed, this is something that the council wants to see and that he wants to see.
Okay. Well, bills for first reading, we had from the public hearing the Animal Hospital pole sign. We had from the public hearing the MAG Automotive. The Animal Hospital, that passed full through tonight.
Yes, that's passed and that's ready to go.
And the automotive, that was just one reading tonight, so we'll see that again.
We'll see that for second readings in April.
Okay. And then the two requests, both of those passed in 3 readings tonight for the, I need to pronounce that right, Saslon Enterprises LLC doing business as Old Timers to Kevin McDonald's Boosties Barbecue and the Gateway Grilled Subs.
Right, and both those passed 3 readings tonight, and I think the council wants to make sure that we can give people an advantage. They're already paying rent on the buildings. If we can get them in there and get their business up and running and being productive, the sooner the better.
Good. Well, council announcements. First thing that kind of came off the bat was the increase in tournaments for the city's golf course.
You know, last year we made quite a few improvements to the golf course, and we spent quite a bit of the taxpayers' dollars doing so. The council at the time felt that it was a situation we had to do that. We don't ever like spending the public's money without great deliberation, which we did at length. To see that the things that we put in place and we gave the operation, the golf course, took it back to the city, and we have good people in place to try to make it a better operation for not only the city but for the taxpayers. Very, very excited to see that we're already starting to see a dividend on our money.
Joe, what are some of the things that the city did to this course that are helping 13 new tournaments come to the city?
First thing we had was we had a really horrible lease. We were in a cart lease. It was not advantageous to the city, so we were able to get a new cart lease, and we have new carts.
Okay.
And that is attractive to the golfer when they come out. They're a bright red cart. We actually wanted green, but the red carts turned out pretty good. But we also bought new equipment to maintain the course with mowers and fertilizers and rakes and such. And the golf course staff has done a phenomenal job in sprucing up, not only sprucing up the golf course, but making significant changes. And one of the changes that they've made this last year, golfers appreciate it. I don't appreciate it because I don't hit the ball straight. but they're allowing the golf and the air grass in certain areas to grow higher.
Yes.
And it's visually appealing. For the hardcore golfers, it's very challenging. And so people who golf all the time are attracted to that.
Yes.
Again, for me, I just spend more time collecting chiggers as I look for my balls. But they've done some really good aesthetic stuff. And by promoting it as a more challenging course, it's showing us some dividends.
Well, you might spend a little bit more time in the golf shop, too, buying more balls.
That's true. That's true.
Well, what else is going on in the city?
Well, I tell you what, this is a really exciting time in the city, and I know that previous representatives have come here, have talked to some of the new businesses that are coming in. We have the Culver's just opened. We have Jimmy John's in Ward number 3. I had hoped we were getting Lulu's, but we'll see how that goes down the line as we are making progress, or they're making progress on the Walmart store. And we have all sorts of businesses that are attracted to come to our community. And that's what's really, really exciting. And I'd like to mention one in Ward number 3. Up there in Villa Cresta Plaza, Blue Star Construction opened up. And they have not done their grand opening. They plan to do a grand opening in April. I do know people who've already used them there. It's a family operation. They do general contracting. One of my neighbors recently used Blue Star to fix some doors on his shed, and he was very, very happy. So it was really good to see a construction business come in, because we get complaints that the only people come in are restaurants. So it's good to see a business that's not a restaurant come in. And not only did construction companies come in, but they're already getting really good reviews.
Terrific.
The other thing I really want to talk about is the St. Ferdinand Barbecue.
Okay.
You saw in council announcements how proud I am. I've been telling people that this is a great barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
It's a charity barbecue, and it's our 5th year of doing this. I was the first recipient when I was injured in the line of duty back in 2010, and it's become more of a community event. A couple years ago, we did it for Mike Vernon, who was a police officer here in Florissant that was tragically paralyzed, and that's when it really began to pick up. It's our little version of March Madness in Florissant. We do it every March. We do it for every weekend in March, and we run a basketball tournament for 3rd and 4th graders, boys and girls, for people all over the community, and we run a barbecue. And hopefully at the end of the barbecue, we're able to present a check to the recipient. This year's recipient is Erin Grace.
Okay.
She's a little 4-year-old girl that lives up in my area. She lives in Hazelwood, goes to St. Ferdinand Parish, and she was born with Down syndrome. And last year she was diagnosed with cancer. And so she has a double whammy. And we decided we were going to do our benefit this year for Erin, Team Erin. And you can look up Team Erin on Facebook. She's an adorable little girl. The family is just really embracing all this. It tears out our hearts. We work, literally, I think I've worked 100 hours this year so far in this tournament. And that's just not me, that's everyone involved. And you never tire, because when you see the Grace family and you know what the cause it's going for, it's just awesome. We have one more day left in this barbecue and basketball tournament. And that's next Saturday, March 28th. We'll do barbecue from 10:30 in the morning until dark. We have the last game, I think, is at 7 o'clock next Saturday night. So we'll have barbecue going the entire time. And I say it's award-winning barbecue. We've entered this wing recipe in one competition, and can I show the trophy?
Yeah, of course.
Where's the trophy?
Prove it.
We have we've entered this the wing recipe into one competition, and we took 1st place. So if you come up there, you're going to get really, really good food. It's at a real reasonable price, and most importantly, it's for a fabulous charity.
And where are we going? Where is it at?
We're going to St. Ferdinand Church. It's located at 1635 Charbonneir Road, kind of between Limburg and Houdershaw, Shackelford. Again, we'll be there all day Saturday, and it's the wind-up of our tournament, and we hope to see everybody out there.
Terrific. Well, thanks, Joe. Anything else going on in your world that you'd like to mention as we wrap up the show?
Isn't that enough? No, it's good to be back on council action, and we'll see you in about 9 more sessions.
All right, great.
Thank you,
you. And thank you for watching. I'm Russell Lindman. This has been Council Action. We'll see you next time.
Well,